What was your relationship to ATA?
I was just a member of the ATA as a result of being a teacher. I never became involved with the political aspects of the ATA. I was busy doing other things.
Right. Were you involved with the strike that the ATA had?
We were all out on the street. I mean, you were told where to go and when to be there. And at one point, they appointed me a district supervisor, and I had to get up early in the morning and gather up all the pamphlets and go and distribute them to the various spots at various schools where there were teachers gathered, giving out pamphlets to people going by. So.
I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the strike, as much as you know. What led to the strike? Are you aware of that?
Yes.
And also, how well did the strike go?
The strike was basically for wages. The wages for the teachers in Edmonton had been almost stable for a number of years, and there had been the push and the push and the push, and nothing gave. And so the Alberta Teachers Association took us out on strike. And we were out that first time for 3 weeks. And at that time, the government paid the schools as though we were working for 3 weeks. But if we stayed out longer, they stopped paying the daily wages. On the Sunday before it would have come the third week, the government met and ordered us back to work. So we never found out whether they would actually pay or not.
Oh God, it never changes, does it?
But if you can continue, and what was the result of that order back to work?
Oh,
Did you people
well,
receive wage increases or anything?
We kept negotiating and negotiating at that level, and ultimately we got, I think, 6%. 6% sticks in my head as what we got as an increase as a result. But we certainly didn't get the 14% which we wanted.
So you mentioned that when you were a guidance counselor, you would be meeting with the young people and talking to them about their possibilities, right?
Yeah.
Given the working class nature of this community, what were those possibilities? What did it look like for them?
Well, they were mostly hourly wage jobs. There was a group at JP that, I forget what they were called, but they were all the top academically. Every one of them went on to university and became doctors and dentists and teachers and lawyers. But the rest of the group, for the most part, got what we would call hourly wages. They worked at the tire shop, they worked at the grocery store, they got the jobs that they could find.
Yeah, I recognize the pattern of,
Yeah.
I'm the first generation of my family to go to university.
Yeah.
And it was regarded as a ticket out.
Yeah.
Was that the same sense you had in talking to these
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
I want to go back I gather from your comments you didn't know that we've heard a lot of stories about the fact that at JP they were busing in Indigenous students from the residential school in St. Albert. Were you aware of that?
Yes, they did. But somehow when they got to JP, they didn't really become part of the student body. It was almost like they brought them as a group and they were kept in those classes. The only place where there was mixing was in sports, because these kids they were mostly from Vancouver Island. They were Haidas, and many of them were excellent athletes. So they were in the basketball team and the curling and hockey and football and you name it. You found the Aboriginal kids there, but not in the political aspect of the school, student body. They didn't appear at all.
Yeah, that's the stories we've heard too, that it was almost designed to make sure they couldn't integrate because the bus would arrive like 15 minutes before the bell goes and
Yeah.
leave half an hour after.
Yep.
Yep.
That's true.
Okay.
I hadn't really, that's interesting. I never thought of that because I was busy in my office with other kids who had stayed after school to talk to me. So my awareness of what was happening with those Aboriginal kids was very limited.
Well,
Yeah.
We just talked to somebody on Monday who's had a very similar experience.
Yeah.
They really didn't have an opportunity to interact with those
No.
kids at all.
I
certainly
don't
never heard about what was going on
know.
at the schools.
Uh,
I want to just go back for a minute, right to the beginning in Saskatchewan a bit. At that time, given your political instincts, although you were very young, what was your feeling about the CCF and all of that?
We lived in Regina the year of 1943-44. We were in Regina when the CCF won. My brother and I went downtown and the leader post had a big bulletin across the top listing the MLAs as they were elected, and the people were cheering and carrying on, and then they realized what they had done. And they're kind of looking at one another, and the place got quiet because they had never imagined the socialists winning. And that, of course, was T.C. Douglas and his group. And they were such a good government.